everybody, it's Lori Houston. Happy Sunday. I thought that I would go ahead and show you real quick how I resin some of my artwork. The first thing that I wanted to do before I start showing the process is I wanted to introduce you to this nifty little product that I just bought. If you can see that. It is epoxy warmer. And this come from Mud Hole. That's the name of them. I know that's an odd name, but it's actually for fishing rods. And I had Googled how to warm my resin because I'd been putting them in glass jars and kind of warming them in a bowl with warm water, and just found that it's time consuming, it gets everywhere, and this is specifically to warm your resin. I absolutely love it. It has a temperature of 100, 150, and 200. And I've used the 100 and 150. I think 200 is a little bit too warm. And I find that it just, when you warm your resin, especially right now where the weather is so unpredictable, it's much easier to have less bubbles when you warm the resin. So, in saying that, what I love about this is that it has this nifty little insert, so I can actually put my resin in like this, and that is if you're going to use this size bottle, or I typically measure my resin, so I put the cups right in here that I measure. Fits great. I measure, I get the first one going, and I go ahead, and while I'm doing one, covering one canvas, I get the next set going, and by the time I'm done, it's warm. But this is absolutely nifty. I will put the website down in the description below. So let's get set up so that I can show you how I resin my paintings real quick. We'll be right back. Okay, hi, we're all set up and ready to go. So I have my epoxy warmer that I just showed you, and I've got my resin is ready, and then I go ahead and I've measured in these cups 3 ounces in each cup, and I go ahead and put this in my warmer while I'm doing this one. And today I'm using KS resin. I do use crystal resin. I also have art resin that I use, and what I'm going to do is today we're going to cover this beautiful flower pop that I did, and let's get started. So art resin has a real nifty, but let me go back, I'm sorry, KS resin, it's 1-to-1. So this, the hardener and the resin. So I'm just going to pour, I typically pour the thinner of the two into the cup, and like I said, we're using KS resin today. I'm still experimenting with which resin I like the best. KS resin has a real nifty one called Lickety Split. You don't have a lot of work time, so when I'm doing a real small canvas or tile, I love it. It works really good. Just want to make sure you get all those edges. Okay, and now I'm going to stir these two together, and I typically stir, just stir, stir, stir. You're going to stir, and you're going to scrape the sides, scrape the bottom, scrape the sides, and just keep stirring. I typically stir this for about 3 minutes, so I'm just going to keep stirring. And this one, this particular resin is dry to touch in about 12 hours, and it's a full cure in about 3 days. So I am preparing for the Williamsburg Christmas Bazaar, and this is one of the pieces that I'd like to feature. I just absolutely love this piece. Beautiful. And since I have some pieces that I need to get ready, I thought I would show you how I do that. And just an FYI, when you keep resin and you don't use it, the hardener will actually turn yellow in the bottle. And I've learned that the hard way. When I first started out, I thought I had to buy, you know, a big gallon jug of it and didn't use it. The great news is it's a little thicker and it's harder to work with, but if you're using it on a dark painting, you will not see where it's turned yellow a little bit, and it doesn't appear to affect the painting either, because I did some last year and they look fine. So just an FYI. But the good thing is to do your paintings as you go, and then you won't have a problem with your resin turning. And it's hard in the beginning. You just want to paint, paint, paint. Okay, and I'm just scraping the bottom. Let me fast forward this a little bit so that you can, I'm just mixing, scrape your popsicle stick or whatever you're using, scrape, and turn. It's gonna be a lot of bubbles, but we'll get those out. And again, I typically 3 to 4 minutes. This particular resin gives you a 45-minute work time, but not when it's an older bottle. So keep that in mind. When you have a fresh bottle of resin, you get much, you know, you get whatever the bottle says working time. This one is really thick because I've had it a while and I want to use it up. And the last thing you want is to mess your painting up because your resin's not mixed correctly. So just scrape, 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 stir, stir, stir. And then all I do, and I always like to use something that I can throw away, is I pour it right in the center. I get it all out of the cup and off my stick. Go. Okay, perfect. And this canvas only needed 5 ounces, and I used 6 because it's older, and you can see it's really thick. So it's going to be a little bit difficult to manipulate across the canvas. And I just use my glove when it's thick like this. I just keep moving it along and pushing it to the edge. And I do 2 coats on my paintings. So just know that if this one doesn't turn out perfect, you're going to have another coat. And you can kind of feel around the edges with your fingers to see if they're covered. You can tell. And we're just going to keep manipulating this around. And these thinner canvas, they tend to sag in the center. And so you definitely have to put at least 2 coats on these thinner canvases. The gallery wrap do a lot better. They're more taut, and you know they're just a better quality canvas. Okay, getting those edges and moving it around. Perfect. It's looking good. This looks beautiful with resin on it. I thought it would. Okay, and I'm going to torch really quick. And my torch, you'll see I have a paper towel with rubber bands so that I don't mess up the get resin all over it. This is my resin torch. I just go through and pop the bubbles. And if you're using a plastic bag underneath instead of a silicone mat like I am, just be real careful. Okay, and I see an edge right here. I can usually, there's some on the here that I can touch it up. And this is self-leveling, so, and again, that's why I do 2 coats. And I just go around, get all those edges. You know, I already have it taped from when I painted it, so I just leave it like this. Look how beautiful that is with resin. Okay, let's torch again. Okay. And then I'll let it set under the picnic food nets. And I do a light sand on it, and then I put a second coat, and it's ready for the show. Well, I appreciate you watching me. I hope this was helpful. This was a short tutorial on using resin and how easy it is. You can see it's a glass finish. It's absolutely gorgeous. Let me turn off this one light and see if you can, there's a glare definitely when you use resin. There, I'll turn off, see if you can see that now, how beautiful that is. Glass-like finish. It's absolutely gorgeous. Okay, everybody, I hope you enjoyed this short tutorial. If you have any questions, feel free to reach me at lorihouston56@gmail.com. And please comment below, give me a big thumbs up, and let me know if you'd like other tutorials and what I can do to help you on your painting journey. Please take care, everybody. Until next time.